First of all, I never said it was a surprise.
I nailed that reaction.
You did nail the reaction. Again, these people are much smarter than me. But here's what we know. And you can stop me if, because you and I have laughed about this behind the scenes for quite a while now. I got the go ahead from somebody to go ahead and report this, so I will report it. But
he also put on Instagram that he's in town, so it's not like we're ruining anything.
Yeah, we're not ruining anything, for sure. Jacory Croskey-Merritt is coming to the University of Arizona. He has been officially cleared. He is going to be part of that running back room. That is a very nice running back room, which we are going to get to in just a second, Jason Scheer. But initial thoughts on his on-the-field impact for him.
Yeah, he's in Tucson. He put it on his Instagram. I believe he's officially moving in on Monday, and then he'll be enrolled. June 1st is the day that you have to take a class. There's ways to get around that. But if you're ever wondering why the coaching staff is quiet, June 1st is the day, maybe even before that. He's really good. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. You can debate how this thing played out, and we'll get into more details in a minute. But all of a sudden, you have what I feel, and I think what Arizona feels, is the best running back room from top to bottom in the Big 12.
And we need to be, we got to be clear on this. As good as the other backs are, everybody knows about what I think about Fam. Everybody, Quali Conley, very good. Kedrick Reescano, very, very good. This is going to be the dude. Again, it's going to be a committee, but this is going to be the guy that is going to get the majority of the carries.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect it to be him and Quali to start. I think Reescano got some carries. It's going to be real interesting to divide it because this staff is, again, it's going to be pretty similar to the last staff in that, Jacory's going to get a good amount of carries, but there won't be games where he gets 30 carries. There's just no point to it. There's too much talent on the roster, and a lot of it is how does a guy like Reescano carry over, right? Like at Ole Miss, he was number one in the spring because of injuries, but is he as good as his high school film and rankings suggest? If he is, all bets are off. But I would say Jacory comes in here as the starting running back.
And we got to give the staff, and again, we're going to get to the story here in just a second. We got to give this staff a ton of credit because this running back room from last year was absolutely decimated for a variety of different reasons. Jonah Coleman, get out of here, up to smelly, rainy Seattle. Also, you lose Michael Wiley, you lose DJ Williams. And so you're left with Fam. Obviously, we love Fam on the show, but they've done a really nice job retooling this running back room. Quali Conley's solid. Jacory Croskey-Merritt, I think, has a next level that Quali Conley doesn't, but both these guys are really good. Reescano is that back that for the, in a year, and he's going to play this year, but in a year, he and Fam in the backfield could be a very nice thunder and lightning type thing. But either way, this staff did an amazing job with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to retool. When you think about it, like we paid a lot of attention to Jonah Coleman, but they also lost Wiley and DJ Williams, who are clearly no slouches either, right? And then you get Jordan Washington, you have high expectations. He didn't have a great spring, but he transfers. And now you're down to, it was what, a week ago that you were down to an injured Quali Conley in the spring, right? And then your second back was Speedy, and then you have nothing. You just have nothing. I mean, no offense to you have, I got a crazy text just now. Sorry, it's flustered me. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's a situation where, a couple weeks ago you didn't have anyone, and now all of a sudden you've got a loaded running back room.
All right.
It's not often I get flustered.
All right, here. Well, now we're going to get into the Jacory Croskey-Merritt story. You get that out of your system while I get a read in, and then we will get back to this. All right, Circle K. Jacob Franklin did not go to Circle K yesterday. Dummy. ASU grad right there. Jacob Franklin. I went to Circle K. Jason Scheer went to Circle K. You should have gone to Circle K because, again, it was 40 cents off gas. Check it out. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. All right. This is maybe the most bizarre story that I've ever come across when it comes to recruiting. All right. Jacory Croskey-Merritt. We know, everybody knows he's good enough to play at about anywhere he wants. And yes, he is cleared. But at a variety of different times, 3 different schools did not believe that he was eligible. From Arizona to Texas A&M to Ole Miss. Now you're like, well, Mike, how could he have possibly been eligible? Because he has stats for 5 seasons. He does have stats for 5 seasons. His number, and this was not a this was not a scorekeeper error. Sheer, at Alabama A&M, there are some tough times during. There's been some tough times here financially the past.
You want me to give the story of why it's so crazy? Is that you're setting me up to tell everyone?
I mean, if you want to tell him, or I'll tell him, because I've never come.
Because you already know it, and so it's out there. So HBCUs, schools like Alabama State, are not well off financially, and basically, they share jerseys. So
here's the
when
best.
You watch. No, hold on. So when you watch the video and you see number, was it 27 or 21 on the field, and you're like, Jacory is on the field, like he clearly played in these games. It's not Jacory. It's a teammate that's also a running back. They share jerseys by positions. And so Alabama State goes, and their former head coach, who is now at Georgia Tech, I believe he's the chief of staff, gets a hold of the story and goes, oh, no, like we absolutely redshirted him. He actually only played in 3 games and wrote a letter to the NCAA. The NCAA reviews it, and he's cleared. He did not play. He has a red shirt. He has 1 more year. It's insane.
Here's where, so a guy on the staff was telling me this, and he said, listen, he said, the reason that nobody at the U of A saw this happening was, sometimes people have the same jerseys sometimes people have the same jersey numbers on a team, but guess what? One is a defensive back and the other is a wide receiver, or whatever the case may be. And so he has said, I have never in my life, and he said maybe at JV football or Pop Warner, where players were sharing the same jersey on the same position, at the same position unit. And he said that I've never seen. We did not believe it when that was brought up to us initially. But like you said, talking with somebody that was there, he came over and he's like, listen, he literally brought tape to the NCAA and to all these schools and showing 27 there and then 27 over here, saying, listen, he's not playing. He is playing. So not only did that happen, there were fake stats that were also put in there because they were losing track of who was out there.
Yeah, like, so the ESPN stats are wrong.
They're
right?
wrong.
Like, completely wrong. The school kept official stats. And so what they were being accused of, and I had heard this too, and I apologize, is that they had forged numbers, right? Because what else would you think?
Exactly.
You're looking at a video in which a dude wearing Jacory's number is clearly playing in 9 games, right?
Right.
It's not Jacory. No one would have thought that.
Right.
And again, shout out, I don't know his name off the top of my head. I'll find it. But the Georgia Tech guy, like, I mean, it's wild. Like, he didn't have to do what he did.
Right.
Former coach of Alabama, and he made it very clear, this is what happened. Here is the video. Here's the official stat books. He is cleared by the NCAA.
And what's wild, too, is that so a guy was telling me, he said he's literally, and this is where he really went above and beyond helping out Arizona. He literally was finding stills of stills and live videos where 27 would come and he would take off his helmet on the sideline, and you're like, you zoom in and say, listen, that's not him right there. That's not him. And then you would show a picture of him sitting on the sideline or whatever. They were literally sharing jerseys. Again, this is good work by Arizona, and this is also why everybody was fooled. I've never heard of a story like this. I don't know that we'll ever hear of a story like this again, Sheer.
I've been doing this for, 20 years at this point. Yeah. I've never heard anything remotely like that. Nothing. Right. I've heard of, nothing. Like, because eligibility in that case, usually when the controversy with eligibility comes, it's games played at injuries. Injuries is the one where, like, you see guys playing 7 years. It's because of injuries. Right. This is just straight up like. And by the way, like, can someone make a donation to Alabama A&M so this doesn't happen?
Seriously? I mean, we get that's the other thing too that I feel terrible for these guys with. You're sharing jerseys at the same position. Like, I don't even know that they would do that at Flowing Wells. I mean,
no, not the same position. And usually, like, again, it's legal if you have the same number on offense and defense.
Exactly. But not at the same
time. Like, in order for that to happen, do people realize, like, Jacory had to take his jersey off on the sideline and hand it to a guy?
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy.
Right. So there you go. That is the story, people out there. And again, if you think that if you've heard of another story like that, I say you are full of it. You are not being honest with yourself. Now, let's get back to the running back room here, though, for a second, Sheer. This is like I said, man, this is a loaded unit. This is a one that's ready to go. And I'm looking around the rest of the Big 12. I don't see a unit that is as good as this unit from top to bottom. And it's not like there's just one dude and you're like, man, you better really not get hurt. I mean, you got 3-4 guys that can really tote that rock and allows you to be a little bit more flexible with the fam as well.
I mean, look, if you want to get negative, if you want to take the pessimistic route, you would say, look, Reescano hasn't done it at this level yet. Right. Sure, he was great in high school, but this is also the same guy that was behind Quinshon Judkins. So it's like, what am I supposed to say? He's not good because he was behind one of the best running backs in the country. Speedy hasn't done it. I get it. Quali has. I don't care if it was at San Jose State. Quali's a legit running back, and we know what Jacory can do. So the worst case scenario, the worst case is that you have 2 very capable running backs. The best case is that you have 4.
Right. And all of them can play in a variety of different ways. Now, Kobe Thiel, the great Kobe Thiel. Let's see here. Oh, a super snap. This is a super chat, but thanks for giving us the story. You guys rock. Very, very cool. Yes, the best running back room in the conference. I don't even think it's close. Now, I'm sure, Mr. Tyler Warden, this season is going to be a my bad because anytime a player doesn't do well, we'll be calling for his backup since this team is so deep. I do not exactly hate that situation, Jason Shearer.
No, whatever.
I think it makes I think,
that's a good thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
But that guy pulled that crap. I call for his backup, and his backup's good. Cool.
What I would expect, and again, these things are fluid, very, very fluid, very wet. But what I would expect, that sounded terrible. Either way, it doesn't matter. This show
fruits is and the creams.
Yeah, the fruits, the creams, all the stuff. But I would expect him to get, if you're looking for a carry breakdown, for lack of a better term, he's expected to be the one that's going to get the most carries because I think he's just got the most upside out of all of these dudes. And one thing that they are interested with him as well is, at least what the coach was telling me, is that he said, we think that he can actually be a pretty good receiver out of the backfield. He said he had a season where he was able to catch 12, 13 passes, and he showed he was pretty natural doing it. Let's see here. Let's see. So this is playing out the way we thought, correct?
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's just funny. All right, we will talk some more. We will talk some more stuff anywhere later on. Let's talk about fam for a second. Now, here's where and this is just purely me speculating here. No inside information or anything on that. This is a loaded running back room. And Jed Fish, in my opinion, did fam a real disservice by not redshirting him that first year. A real disservice.
Yes, and I can tell you are Arizona coaching staff. I don't know if they've mentioned it to him, but that's how they feel too. Like they no disrespect to Speedy. That's not what we're doing with.
Right.
It's disrespect to the coaching staff. It is your job as a coaching staff to make sure your players are ready to play. Speedy, when he came in as a freshman, was what? 150?
152, I think he said, yes.
Right. I mean, come on.
Right. It's just something that I would consider because this coaching staff loves Speedy. You can definitely vouch for that. I know you and Alonzo are Alonzo are buddies or besties. So you can vouch.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I was thinking what people don't get is like Speedy's a junior already.
Right.
Because they screwed him over. Like he's only got 2 more years of eligibility.
All I'm saying is this, and this is something that I would give some real consideration to, because he's put on good weight. He's about up to 175. I think they'd ideally like him to be around 185, 186, 187. You've got a running back room now where you got Jacory Croskey-Merritt, you got Quali Conley, you got Kedrick Reescano. Obviously, and this is with all due respect, I like Brandon Johnson a lot. I don't see him feeding or really figuring in here a ton going forward. But I will say that I think that right now, I would almost be amenable to redshirting fam because you lose Quali Conley, you lose Jacory Croskey-Merritt, you could have a thunder and lightning situation next year with Kedrick Reescano and Pham, and you could get him the red shirt that he really needed. I don't know. And again, I have no inside information if that's ever going to happen or not, but it's something that I absolutely would not put, that I would at least consider and see if they were amenable to. What say you? And you can still play him 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, you sit down with the family and be like, look, and again, like, I don't know if Arizona is going to do this, but you say, look, we have Reescano, right? But we have Jacory. He's gone after this year, no matter what. Assuming there's no jerseys, and he's gone. Quali's gone. This is his last year. So it's like, look, we're looking at you. We're looking at Reescano, kind of a two-headed monster, right? I just put that all over my computer. Two-headed monster. And you take a look at that, and you say, look, you're going to get significantly more carries next year than you are this year. That's just the truth. And it's not that you're not getting any this year. You're just going to get more next year.